much indeed for joining us. Now, as you may have seen on the national news, the Prime Minister has today told local councils that they'll get extra funds if they approve fracking for shale gas.
In a moment, we will explain what fracking is, who the companies involved are and whether our councils are indeed considering it. But first, here's what David Cameron said during a visit to a gas plant in Bassetlaw, where a French energy company has become the first large firm to invest in fracking in the UK.
This is part of our long-term economic plan to bring jobs, to bring investment and to make sure we've got secure and affordable supplies of energy. I've been very impressed by what I've seen. Overall, we could see something like 74,000 jobs in this brand new gas industry.
The announcements you made today, some environmentalists say it adds up to a bribe. You're bribing local councils, you're bribing local communities. What's your response to that?
I don't accept that for 1 minute. I think it's right that local communities should share in the benefit of having shale gas exploration. So that's £100,000 when a well is dug, and then up to £10 million for the local community over the life of that well. It's right that local communities should share in this, but let's be clear, this is something that's good for the whole country as well.
So how can you convince the people of Lincolnshire this is a safe process?
Well, Tim Iredale was asking the questions there. So how could fracking affect us right here in Yorkshire?
Well, Ian White reports from the city of York, which has been identified as a potential site.
It's controversial and could be coming to a place near you. Fracking, short for hydraulic fracturing, involves drilling deep underground. Explosions fracture the shale. A high-pressure mix of water, sand and chemicals are then forced, cracking rocks, releasing the gas stored inside. Last month, a government report said more than half the UK could be suitable for fracking.
Well, all types of places in Yorkshire could be affected by fracking, built-up areas as well as rural ones. This is Acombe in York, and I wonder how many people here know what fracking is and whether they're for or against it.
Fracking? No.
Mining of shale gas.
Is that on the computer, fracking, and causing problems?
Rumblings in the ground, earthquakes, that sort of thing. I don't know how true that is.
Environmentalists have long been concerned about the technique. One campaigner says people living in York don't realise it could affect them.
Even if there was a well out at, say, Rufford, the boreholes can go 3 or 4 kilometres underground horizontally, and the borehole doing the fracking could be under your house. Our children and grandchildren are going to have a rough time if we do this dash for gas.
Local authorities that support fracking could benefit from business rate income. So for many councils, deciding what to do for the best is difficult.
In the last few months, a couple of companies have approached us about fracking in the west of York, and so we were going to be having this discussion, but definitely in light of the Prime Minister's announcement this morning in the talk about keeping business rates coming forward from those potential developments. But I do take that with a pinch of salt, because the government promised us more money with business rates before, and it ended up being diminished and dwindled.
Both sides of the argument say information is the key. They want people to know what fracking is all about, because it could be coming to your town or city sooner than you think. Ian White, BBC Look North, York.
So that sets the scene, but who are the companies involved in fracking, and how have the rest of our local authorities reacted? Our political editor, Len Tingle, is with us now.
Well, York is far from the only place in our region suitable for fracking. This is a map that was produced by the British Geological Survey last year. It includes York and Harrogate and a great swathe across North Yorkshire to the east coast. And it even moves further south into South Yorkshire and into the North Midlands. It makes the UK, Yorkshire and the North in particular, one of the richest sources of shale gas in Europe, with the potential to provide a quarter of the UK's needs. So it's not surprising that the big international energy giants, like the French company Total, are now homing in. They will pump money into smaller companies who will have already been granted licences to explore. But that government licence isn't enough. They need local council planning permission as well. And these companies are offering some tempting financial incentives. They'll pay £100,000 up front for every wellhead given planning permission by a local council. And for the lifetime of the well, 1% of the revenue. That could add up to around £10 million over the lifetime of each well. And today the government showed how anxious it is to kickstart this industry. Councils will be able to keep every penny of local business rates for each site. That's worth an estimated £1.7 million over the lifetime of each wellhead. So will that persuade the politicians?
The concerns here are, is the water supply going to be affected? Are there going to be too many lorry movements? I think that's manageable. And are we going to get a share of the profits? We've had fracking for 50 years and that's not bothered anybody. As long as we get a share of the profits and there's proper controls over water pollution, this community will, in my view, be happy.
So will Yorkshire councils welcome fracking? Well, we contacted all of them today and most said the extra financial incentives revealed today are clearly interesting, but it's far too early to come to a view. Only Sheffield, a self-proclaimed city of green technology, said that it would absolutely oppose fracking on environmental grounds.